Hey, it's Casey Granson here with the Collective, powered by CCM. I got Lori and Duane with me, who are loan officers here. And we're blessed to have four realtors kind of talking realtor mortgage and kind of scary, fun, nut stories that we've experienced through our past. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are?
Well, I'm Karin Tully-Garrett. I'm with Metropolitan Park Real Estate. We're located in Kenmore, but we all work all over the greater Seattle area. And I've been in kind of getting folks ready for real estate for the last 20 years with staging and prepping and estates and that type of thing. And it led me into real estate that I've been in for 5 years and love every minute of it.
Yeah. And she can either thank me or hate me that she's in real estate.
We're still sitting together.
I was doing a major move for a client and she was very involved in the estate sale portion and I recruited her into our company. So my name's Theresa. I work for Metropolitan Park Real Estate and I just love this business. So that's what it's all about.
Well, it's interesting that you got started in the industry by connecting. Mm-hmm. I got started in the industry to pay for graduate school. And he said, you just have to sell a couple houses and your program will be paid for. And I'm still in it 11 years later. And I'm Jody Scott with Remax Elite.
Nice. I'm Michele Flynn with Windermere. I've been with Windermere in the Wedgwood office, which is Northeast Seattle, for 17 years, and lots of highs and lows, but I keep coming back, and I do actually love this business, love the relationships, and really enjoy working with Lori Johansson.
Nice.
Nice plug.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. Thank you.
I mean, we're
sorry, Duane.
We could go back and edit his name. So.
And I worked with Duane for 10 years. 52% home buyer
like
classes.
one of those little bubbles.
Yeah.
He's my work husband.
Well, I mean, like before we got started, we had some pretty good stories going on so far, but like craziest story, scariest story in real estate that you guys have experienced, we're all kind of different lengths. Like, let us know, like, what's the craziest thing you guys have experienced in real estate? That could be, 50 offers on a home, could be, you find a dead person in the closet. Like, what does that look like for you guys?
My craziest was probably when in about the first month I joined my current company, Metropolitan Park Real Estate. My boss decided for her 50th birthday that she was going to go to Europe, but she left me in charge of her files. And one of the files was a woman who liked to drink too much. And we got the contract. I had to get it signed. She couldn't figure out how to do her electronic signing. So I'm there, 9 o'clock is the deadline. I'm knocking on her door, bang, bang, bang. She answers the door in a robe wrapped around. And she goes, well, how do I know you're really with Metropolitan Park Real Estate? Of course, I pull out my card and I go, well, I've been emailing you and talking to you all day, and we need to get this signed. And so I'm just going to have you sign it here. And she goes, well, whatever. She turns around in the split level house, starts walking up the stairs in her robe with no underwear. So I get a full cheek shot going all the way up. And she goes, and I finally got the contract signed. So there we go. That was the was the end of the story.
That's all we're getting of this episode.
That was the end.
So you're saying the moon rose,
Yes.
and that was the start.
Yeah, that's right. There's more to it, but it's too long to go into because I was dealing with it.
That's the PG version of the story.
Yeah, exactly.
Love that. Anybody else?
I walked in on a teenager. I was doing a video call with clients down in California that were coming up, and there was one house that they didn't get to see when they were here. So I said, well, that's not a problem. I'll just FaceTime you. And I'm walking through the house, and you knock, hello, realtor, and I have a pretty loud knock. So I'm walking through the house, and she goes, well, what's over there? And I said, well, I think that's the door to the garage. And I've got my phone and I open it up and there is a teenage boy just going to town. And I'm like, and at first it's kind of like, what? Because you're not expecting, nobody's supposed to be home for one. Two, you hear the person on the laptop moaning and then it's just like, oh my gosh. And about that time I hear on the phone, oh my gosh, it's he. And I'm like, slam the door. He knocks the thing over, trying to stand up and correct himself. And I'm like, this is not your house. This is not your house. And I just left. I didn't even finish the showing. Then I had to call the listing broker and say, so there was a situation at the showing, just so you know, there was somebody home. He goes, well, nobody's supposed to be there. And I'm like, is there a son? His bedroom's off the kitchen. And you just hear his voice go really low and he goes, I'll call the dad. That's all he said.
Didn't they used to have white socks that they put on the door? He didn't know about that.
No sock on the door. Not one.
It's a college dorm today. You don't do that on your own. Then.
No, I think he's a high schooler.
Mom and
but-
dad would be like, no.
Yeah, that's not good. That's up there with the finding the guy in the shower that you're just showering away. Right as you open the door, he flings open the shower curtain. And you're like, realtor?
What's the address of that one?
Not a shower. But yeah, it was a very, my buyer's just like, what's going on? This is not your condo.
A full showing, yeah.
It was a full showing. Oh boy.
So 2 stories we've seen: a butt shot from a girl, a guy, pleasuring himself, and then a fully naked person in the shower. So
Yeah.
what else did we see of this?
I sold a house. We were in escrow, and there was a beautiful oak tree in the backyard. And the agent called and said, "Want to know if what you guys would like to do with the wood?" And I said, "Excuse me?" And they said, "Well, we cut down the tree." I said, "Cut down what tree?" "We cut down the oak tree in the back. There was an arborist that said that it was diseased or something." And we didn't want the wood. We wanted the tree. So there was some negotiations that had to have been met. No naked people, but we did.
Well, you
There
got
was
wood.
We did negotiate a replacement cost for the tree. I mean, but my clients were, totally disappointed. There was no tree in the backyard.
That's wild.
A wild story, but not quite.
I would have backed out. I bought my house because of the tree in the front yard. That was the first thing I saw, and I said, "This is my house." And I pulled in the driveway, and my realtor was
That's
just
a
like,
big
"Really?"
thing,
And I said,
yeah.
"Oh yeah, this is my house." And you know how big the maple tree is. It's 80 years old. That thing is huge, and I love that tree. I would have backed out of that deal.
They like the house.
Mhm.
They like the tree too, but they like the house.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Incredible.
How about
Well, I have a niche where it seems a lot of older folks as well, but my niche is really getting in and helping people to get ready and move and help them move along. As sometimes they get comfortable and takes forever to get to even listing day, let alone let's get you packed up and move things out. And so I seem to get very comfortable, and my clients get very comfortable. I've had a few gentlemen that
Wait
well,
for
no,
it. Wait for it.
this isn't porn confidential. Okay? Like, it's not all that. It's not all porn here.
Not at all. Not at all.
I don't think so.
Am I in the
Maybe
wrong
actually.
group?
Yeah,
It's not the
no,
recovery group.
This is where grandpa.
Exactly.
These are grandpas, more or less.
Oh, yeah.
And so, they just feel comfortable, and I'm like, I'll help you. Let's get the dishes packed up. And he'll sit there, and then he comes out the tank top and the boxers because he had to get comfortable to start packing, And so,
Do you
this
wanna
is after
recant that?
a couple of months of getting ready, right? And then, so then he's like, well, you don't mind if I partake? And I said, well, of course not. And I thought he was pouring himself a cocktail. So then he lights up and smoking with 57.
Did he offer you?
He did, of course. I
Okay.
said, oh, no, thank you. Good Catholic girl, Karin. And so I'm packing up dishes. And the whole house was like blue by the time I was done packing up the dishes. So I'm like, okay, I'll see you later. And he's like, I'm going to go take a nap. And I go, Mom, I'm high. I was packing dishes. I was just in a cloud the whole time. So, I think that's
pretty good.
that's one of those kinds of things. I have a few
That's a
other
good
little, just where, but isn't that nice that you're so comfortable that they can partake in their boxer shorts and just move it
Love
right
it.
around.
Well,
Very
we've
nice.
I think that's
no
a good
deaths, right? So we just have some illegal drugs or maybe legal at the time.
No,
And
legal. One time,
Totally
someone,
legal.
porn.
someone
Yeah.
said they were supposed to close on Monday, and they said, "Do you want to close on Friday?" And she said, "No, I'll wait till Monday. Is there any reason why I wouldn't want to wait till Monday?" And I said, "No, there isn't any reason." Well, the seller passed away that weekend.
Oh.
We
Yeah.
still closed it. It was 3 weeks later, but
As soon as
because
you
now it
know.
has to go through probate, and there was like they're looking for the
Yes.
will, they're looking for the trust, and so yeah. But so when someone says, "Is there any reason?" Well,
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, the sooner the
We
better.
never know.
yes,
The
yeah,
sooner
you never
the
know.
better.
Do we have a physical in the cellar? I mean, how good a condition are they in?
Show me the money, I get my
The,
commission.
the Hollywood rewrite of that story would be that he went to do a walkthrough over the weekend and found the dead person.
Oh.
The case to find a dead body.
It would have been a
Yeah.
better script.
Yeah, it
We'll
would've
edit
been.
that out. But
Right.
that found the dead body.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And Duane was the firefighter who came in and took the
Here
body
he
out.
comes to save the day.
Our surprises are usually dirty houses. That's what I would say.
Mhm.
Sometimes disgustingly dirty
Hoarders.
houses. Yeah, yeah. So
I have a listing that's going to be coming up here shortly, and I used a company called Curbio that'll come in and they'll do all the repairs and collect at closing. And a friend of mine said, I'm referring somebody to you. He needs to list. He needs to move to Arizona. And I said, oh, okay. So, and he says, and I'm sorry. And I just said, okay. So I showed up, and even just showing up at the house, I was just like, oh boy, this is going to be a rough one. And when I walked in, he was a hoarder, and there was just like these little paths that you could walk through. And I'm just like, mental health provider. I'm like, I got this. I can help him through this. And so we go into the kitchen area, and he goes, I tidied up. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And a bag came out of the cabinet. And he goes, damn it. I pushed everything back in there, but the rats keep pushing it all out. And I'm like, I need to go wait outside. I was like, oh my gosh. And then you just start looking around, and you can see all the rat trails everywhere. And you're just like,
Oh my
oh.
I would personally freak. I'm like so OCD. I would freak out.
It
in a
was
house like that.
unnerving, to
Like,
say the least. But, you
no,
know, you always
pass,
just
our
keep that
pass.
face, realtor face. It's just like, okay.
Did he move out? Because they won't let you have that cleaned up if he was.
Oh, he did eventually. It took him 9 months to load two containers that were like 4x4s out in his driveway that were there for 2 years. And we got those packed up, and then we had to take it to the studs. And we went through multiple. I still have one more load to haul out of the garage. So it's been tough. And he's down in Arizona, and he's
Wait, this
healthy.
is still going on?
Oh yeah, it hasn't even come
It's
to
not
market
even
yet.
listed yet.
No,
And you've been working with him for 2 years?
it's been a year that I've been
year.
working with him, but
Wow.
he's been trying to load those 2 boxes for 2 years because he, you know,
It's tough.
and it was tough. And he's just like, and this is a bedroom, and the door opens this far, and he goes, it's a nice size room, and he's like full in, and I'm just like, it's good. It's good. I'm good. I'll look through the window, and he goes, well, I have those boarded up. I'm just like, okay.
So yeah, we had an investor that actually bought a property like that as is. And
brave
so
man.
he was great at doing the job and getting it done. So he knew how much he was going to do to get it. I mean, if you could find someone like that, or if I could connect you with him.
Boom, making
but,
deals.
But on that same
What you
on
did.
that same deal, however, and this was who I work with, another person in our company. 2 days before it closes, a car comes down, loses its brakes, and hits the duplex. So we have
That
a
was on the
car.
news.
We have a car in the duplex. So,
No
in
charge.
Everett?
No charge.
That was on the
The car comes with the property.
That was added. That was
in
on the
Everett. So
addendum.
that was our deal.
Cars continued on that on the sale of that.
Car not included. Car does
Yeah.
not convey.
Sales concession. Yeah, sales concession.
Can't be financed. It can't be part of the
Amazing.
deal.
Don't worry
Amazing
about it.
man. I mean, he closed and dealt with everything. Great
Yeah,
investor.
the appraisal was done before, then we have no issue.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Car
an
crash
appraiser
happened,
couldn't
we're
have
gonna
even gone
have
in.
You might have trouble getting home insurance though.
Yeah. So we've experienced from 2007, obviously, to this market, ups and downs in this market. What's the most offers you've heard on a house getting? Either your listing, your buyers, or somebody in your office? Like, what's the most? Like, I've heard 60s in some cases, but wild. Like, what have you guys heard, or what have you guys seen out there?
I hear numbers, but I don't always
I
believe.
think we're in the 30s.
Yeah.
Is more realistic.
This
And
morning I
then
had
years
one,
ago.
there was 15. This
15
morning.
this morning.
Yeah. And I have a sweet first time
Oh,
buyer. Actually, we have a
Yeah.
sweet home first time
Same for
buyer.
fast track approved right
Yeah, fantastic. And we walked away last weekend or the weekend prior. We walked away from one listing who's ready to make an offer as I'm driving away to go to another listing just to check it out. You know, we're considering making an offer. Where are we? She's, well, we just bumped up offer review. It is now in, an hour and a half. And we already have 15 offers. And it's a very simple, it's price point. It's that,
Yeah.
under 600 to 625.
Even into
Just-
1.2 million, we're seeing multiple offers like crazy, and they're also taking early offers, which is making it really difficult for buyers and agents when you're trying to counsel
Absolutely.
them
Right.
and strategizing on how to put an offer together. When an agent doesn't honor the review date, or they get an offer, they have to review it. I mean, it's law. And then they decide to go ahead and just take it because they're so excited. But the downfall is, the buyers, you've got to be ready at any time because you just don't know if that review date's going to be honored or not. But multiple offers, we're seeing them all day long on anything from 600 to 1.5 million. I would say right now, anywhere from 4. I just had one that had 5 offers in Bryant, and up to like 1.2. We've had people that had 20 offers. So it's
Wait, it's supposed to be a housing crash. I've read in
Right,
the
exactly.
paper that the housing prices are going down.
No.
Multiple offers. What are you talking about?
That's where having such a good lender is important. I mean, with Duane and I've worked together for so long, he knows to push everything through, and he responds so quick that a lot of times that's what gets my offer accepted, is having such a good lender. So I'm thankful for that.
It's definitely a team thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I've my physical therapist right now, he's trying to buy a house, and he's been pre-approved by
What's
another
his name?
lender. I know.
Does he need a broker?
Yeah, well, he does, because the person that's been representing him is not performing. They had the offer review date piece, right? Well, I've worked with Jody long enough, and that you've got to stay in touch with that listing broker, right? Because how many of them, you guys have all seen it, right?
Yeah.
They go, oh, we got an offer, we just took it, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be an agent that gets after it and is contacting that listing broker at least daily, if not multiple times a day, right? Just checking in, where we at, right? Because they could have gone bigger than they went with their offer, but their agent just said, no, we have to wait till Monday. And so Saturday morning, when he looked it up online and it said pending, he's like, what happened?
Well, I mean, it's so important, right? Like, who you work with matters. We always say that to realtors and lenders on both sides. But really, that realtor who is listing is going to get 2 close offers. If there's 10, 12, 15 offers, they're going to go to the person that has responded the most, who they like the most, and go, hey, you're close, or you're the best. Here's where we're at. I want you to get the deal. You've done this. Like, that's how I've seen it a ton in my
Or
career.
who can get it done. I
Right.
mean, I actually look at their history. I mean, I look at what they're doing.
I look them up.
Yeah, look them up.
How many deals have you done? And I tell people, look up your lender.
Yes.
Look them up and
absolutely.
see how long they've been in the business. They put on their card, we talked about this in our class, senior lender, loan officer, and they've been licensed for 2 months. Because I did a job with one guy, and he's just like, oh yeah, this is great. And I'd ask a question and there'd be a long pause, and I'm like, oh man, you don't know what you're doing. Okay, so let's backtrack. So-and-so, how long have you been doing this really? You're my first transaction. I'm like, that's okay. Everybody needs a first. And in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, why did it have to be
Well,
me?
we
So-
started looking up online lenders, like when we'd go compete with them. And this one person was literally unemployed for 3.5 years, and they'd been there for a month. And I talked to the client. I was like, hey, like, you can go with this lender. Like, obviously they're an eighth better in rate than us. They've never done a transaction. Is that how you want to give you 1.2 billion when you're waiving financing, waiving
Right.
contingencies, all these kind of things? That's up to you. Just trying to give you, the information, because it does matter, right?
The partnership between an agent and the lender is, you're like married, and it's a team sell, and you are a partnership, and you're representing that buyer from the time you start looking at houses until the time that key is handed to them. It's a partnership, and you need
100%.
somebody that's gonna call and talk to the listing agent, talk about their qualifications, be available if they call them and call back. I mean, it's imperative to have that kind of
It's
partnership.
a team effort, I think, for the whole process.
Yeah, and also it's my personal business and my word, and the partners that I
Yes.
take into the fold need to have the same excellence, that I have to get the deal done.
Yeah.
So, and to give them the service they deserve.
100%. I just had a transaction close with a gentleman that I know seems to be a newer agent. Said, yep, I've got him through underwriting. We're ready to go write that offer. And we came in it was listed at 1.1 and we got it at 1.225. And it came down to the wire. We had to extend closing, and that lender had to drive to Coos Bay, Oregon to get documents signed on Friday morning at 12:01 a.m. Friday morning. Drive it back. Coos Bay is an 8-hour drive.
It's not close.
And drive all the way back from Coos Bay. The listing broker, not happy, called me every day, 3 times a day, not happy. And he had it back at escrow at 8 a.m. when they opened, because he drove all night to bring it back. I mean, yay for him for doing that, but it didn't have to get there. And I'm just like, this is my reputation. I'm selling down in this area, and now if this listing broker sees my offer come in, is he going to work? And I kept trying to get it over to Duane, because I'm just like, if you're looking at the company, I'm telling you. But he's like, well, no, he handled a deal before and he did a great job. And I'm like, in Coos Bay, there was a $450,000 home versus a 1.12. There's no compare. And we're doing a 14-day close. It all mattered.
Yeah.
It all
It
matters.
does.
Yeah.
I mean, Lori's done miracles for us. I called her a week ago, Saturday night. Hey, what you doing? Can I get a
And you
free
said,
approval? Yes.
Cheers.
But, no, I mean,
what am I doing?
Ringing story. Are we connecting the previous story in the row? Who are you? What are you doing here?
Can I see your cheeks?
she's not writing pre-approvals while drinking.
No.
But
Yeah.
it happened really quick. I mean, it's amazing. Can't call Chase Bank on,
No.
Saturday night at 8 o'clock.
BC.
Or Friday at 2.
The
Yeah.
BDC.
Oh yeah, for
Just
Monday at 4.
Remember when you had that? We were teaching a class, and you had that lender that you called on a Saturday,
Right.
and he was upset because you called him on a Saturday.
Yep.
He's like, I don't work weekends.
Nope.
It's like, what industry is he in?
Right.
That's not
Why
the
are you
industry
calling
I'm
me?
in.
I need a pre-approval. I'll be in my office on Monday. Okay.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But I'm not
Are
gonna.
you there? You need to get a flying over you.
Right.
We've done it. We've got somebody right now in contract that I did the buyers. She took the class, and then I did my buyers consult on Monday, and I had them in contract on Thursday. And I found out, do you know, down in Tacoma, that you have to pay to do a transaction in the city limits of Tacoma?
No.
What?
Yes, you do. So it started 2 years ago, and the firm the brokerage pays a $2,000 licensing fee, and you as a broker pay $290 to do the transaction. If you don't know about it, like I didn't know about it until my firm stepped forward yesterday and said, hey, you're doing business in Tacoma. Here's what we have to do. They will come after you. They'll come after you, and the fine doubles.
Oh my.
They don't pay. You don't pay out of escrow.
So, it does not get paid. Escrow doesn't track that
Is
stuff.
it a-
We have to
is it a
track that.
permit? Are you getting
It is a
permit?
license to do business within the city,
Not sure that.
and that's how they're raising money to facelift downtown Tacoma. They're not going to get rid of the aroma, but they're going to facelift the city,
The pictures will look
But
good.
only if people come and do business and pay that fee.
and they have to pay the
might-
fee for 10 years. So we're 2 years into the 10-year levy. So, and it goes to everybody, contractors, doesn't matter who.
Oh.
If you are like a furnace company and you get a job all the way down there, your company is going to pay and the servicer will pay. That's how they're building money.
Wow.
Interesting.
So
They don't
we have
sell any other
somebody-
cities.
FYI, don't
Yeah,
sell in
we have
Tacoma
somebody
city
down
limits.
there.
It has to be in the city limits. So
And it's every transaction?
no, it's a one-time fee and it lasts for a specific amount of time and then it lapses. You have to do, I
Probably
think it's
12
6 months. It might be.
Yeah.
It's pretty sketch.
Well, so don't sell onesie twosie in Tacoma.
No.
Either sell everything in Tacoma or
Find a
not.
referral partner.
Yeah.
Right.
Or have a referral partner, but we're too late for that. So.
I mean, you'll probably take the commission over $280 fee, right?
Oh, I will.
Well,
I have no problem with that. So if you get hit because you're doing business down there.
I mean, we're
it
not.
hasn't ever come up on the mortgage side.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, well, maybe I need to license as a mortgager.
And we have LOs in Tacoma too, so
Yeah, I think we're okay.
Probably.
they
They
get us
haven't
for
figured out a
every
way to
stuff.
get us yet.
They'll get
Yeah.
us soon.
Yeah,
They'll come after
they'll
us.
figure
It's
it
an FYI, kitty cats. Just know what's coming down the pipe. Mhm.
Interesting.
You never stop learning, do you?
Oh, especially not in this business.
Oh, every transaction is a new education.
Absolutely.
Every transaction.
All right. So, what's the coolest, weirdest feature you've seen in a house? Like 10 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, or something like that.
Oh, that would.
Oh,
That
yeah.
would suck.
That would not be good. I don't think that exists. You might find a place 1 bedroom, 10 bathrooms, but I don't think you'd find 1 bathroom, 10 bedrooms.
No, that's why we're asking.
Fair enough.
Be the one with the line in
Yeah.
the floor.
I had one when I was looking at mine, and I totally forgot about this until now. I thought it was the coolest thing. It was like, that was my first house that I bought. I was 29. And so my mom and sister were helping me. I wasn't married. Go to this house, and in the master bathroom, there was a urinal. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
they're like,
Such
"You
a
are
boy
not
thing.
allowed to buy that house. I was like, what do you mean? It has a urinal. It's great for me.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we're leaving now. So they did not allow me to buy that house. But like, never seen that before.
We had clients, the girls, that I went out showing a house one time. It was up in Everett, and the house was really cool. And then we came down, and Nat is just very, very observant. She goes, "It looks like it's a door on that wall." And I'm like, "Where?" And she goes, "Over there." And she walks up and she punches it with her hand, and the thing pops open. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And the door opens up, and there we look in, and it is a kill room. I mean, that's what we figured out it
Or
had
a
to
safe
be.
room.
It was a 100% concrete
Safe
room. That, oh no, there was hooks from the ceiling. There were, we walked in there and we were all like, "Rah. What happened in this room?" And you could see where there were hooks coming out of the room, and there was cloth hanging, and it's just like, well, somebody got tied up over there, and it was just like, oh, we called it the kill room house. And then there was the Hobbit house, and that was in Linwood, because all the archways, there were no doorways, they were all archways, and they were literally like 5 feet. So if you were short, it was great. You just passed right through. But the whole house was created like a Hobbit house, and it had the rounded door at the front. Yeah, it's off of 44th. Yeah. So we
So
call it the
market.
Hobbit house. No, it's sold, but it needed a lot of work. There was a whole crack in the wall, this big foundational wall. And I'm like, that's not good.
Hobbits don't make very good carpenters.
That's not good. But yeah, it finally sold. I was like, yeah, they gave up them. They bought the gnome house because there were gnomes in the yard. And I called and I asked, "Hey, would you guys mind leaving the gnomes? My buyers really kind of like them." And the husband, you hear the husband say, "Yeah, I'd be happy to leave the gnomes." And the wife in the background says, "You're not leaving my mother's gnomes." So it was closing gifts. I bought gnomes. I had to go all over town to find these durable gnomes. And we stashed them in all the rooms from Duane and I, and they sent us pictures after they found them all. And I was like, "Oh, that's so awesome."
Well, Duane would like this. I did find a fireman's pole. In
Oh.
the too.
In the master?
No, just in the living
If
room.
it didn't go,
So did
if
it
it,
connect to like an upper level?
No.
so that's not a
So
fireman's
that's a
pole.
stripper
Yeah.
pole?
That's different.
But I think for insurance, it's considered a fireman's pole. Because
Because strippers are a high user of insurance. Like,
Yeah.
Wait, if we have an insurance agent watching, please
Yes.
comment.
yeah.
Fire pole,
We need to
stripper
know
pole, how
what's
does that
gonna-
work?
fraudulently. I mean, a fireman pole, what are you inching up to? Ceiling looks good.
I think it was two hands.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How do you do that? That's magic.
Those are strong legs.
Lori and I had a buyer that bought a really cool house on Lake Washington, and it had a turntable in the driveway for your car
Oh,
because it was at the end of a driveway and had a 2-car garage, but it was really difficult to get out. So the owner, when they built it, they put in a turntable. So you put your car and then you push the button and it turned your car around for you so you could easily get out.
we all need that.
My mom's
Yeah.
90. She's still driving. She needs that.
Yeah.
So I turn it around for her because
Yeah.
that's horrible at backing up.
You should get her the
So-
self-driving Tesla.
Oh, I got pictures of the self-driving Tesla.
The one at the hospital on the side of the wall.
The one that went forward over the sidewalk, through the guardrail, down 15 feet on the planter.
He needs to be fired.
Maybe
That driver's not doing it. So
redact this from the
I
comments.
asked him if he'd gotten a hold of Elon yet to let him know that something went wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Which one? Yeah. Oh, just a sign. I sell in Woodinville, so I mean it's in wine country, big houses, and so I'm putting. What are those signs called again? The big ones.
Oh, that monument
A
sign.
monument sign in. So they're putting monument sign in, and of course they hit an irrigation line. And have you guys all had irrigation line breaks? I mean,
No.
They're huge.
they're huge. I mean, and
It's a
you know,
geyser.
It is a geyser. So had a flood in front of the house. So it became a waterfront house. So very quickly. Yeah.
It's all in how you describe it.
Yeah, that's.
So I have a
right.
scary story.
Yes.
So all the years in selling real estate, nothing like this has ever happened. So my client is getting ready to have a baby, and it's COVID, so she doesn't want to go to the hospital. And I'm just like, well, it's closing day, so let me finish my showing in Lake Stevens and drive to Covington so I can get the keys and I'll just hide your closing gifts and all that good stuff. She's like, oh, that'd be so great if you could bring us the keys. And I'm like, okay. So 3.5 hours later, I make it down to the Covington house because traffic was so bad from Lake Stevens. I get there, and needless to say, I had to pee so bad. So I run in the house, and I'm always mindful. So I lock the door behind me. I run in the house. I go to the front bathroom, and I'm like, oh, no toilet paper. And I book it to the back, and I'm just like, oh, that's awesome. So I sit down, and I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking to myself, this is actually kind of a cool layout for a master bath. I mean, you've got the closet over here, the door's half open, and you've got the sink. And I said, the layout of this is good. You can kind of reach everything. This is awesome. And then I'm thinking, something's off. And I'm just like, whatever. And I get up, and I go out. And I go out to my car, and I have my new dog. He's about 7 months old. He's in there, and I'm just like, hang on, Bobby. I'll get you out in just a second. And I go back in the house with the gifts. And when I shut the door and I turn around, there's a man standing coming out of the master bedroom, and the house is empty. And I'm like, hello. And what are you doing in here? He goes, oh, I'm the neighbor. I'm just checking on the house. And I'm like, how did you get in the house? And he's like, well, I was just in here checking. And I said, were you in the closet? Were you in the bathroom? And it just dawned on me that he watched me pee because he was standing in the master bathroom. And the hair on the back of my neck is up. And I'm just like, oh no. So I go out to my car, and this is like a really weird movie too. So I open the hatch of my car is open, and I go to get my dog out. And I'm just like, because I knew he had to pee too. And I'm so freaked out. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And out of nowhere comes a German Shepherd that jumps in the back of my car and is like trying to figure out what's going on. And my dog is freaking out, trying to get out of the cage. Oh, that's right. And I just had shoulder surgery, and my arm is in a sling. And I'm trying to manage my 50-pound dog, puppy, that's trying to get a hold of this shepherd, and they're trying to get at each other. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And the man comes, and he's just standing there, and he's watching me from like here to me. And I'm just looking. I said, would you call your dog off? In a very commanding voice. I used to be a cop. I can be very commanding when I need to be. And he just stood there, and he's just like, it's not my dog. And I'm just like, okay. And about that time, I go to turn to the dog, and I hear a whistle, and the dog takes off. And the man starts to take a step, and my dog gets down and gets between me, and he just drops his head, and he's a white shepherd, so he looks like a wolf. People say that all the time. And the guy took a step back, and my dog just took a step forward. And that happened a couple steps. And I said, you need to leave now. So I throw the gifts in the house. I shut the door. I get in my car, and I'm driving away, and I'm just like, holy crud. That man I'm so violated. And so I call my buyers, and I'm like, you need to change the locks right away. The man had a key. This is what happened. And they're just like all freaked out. And I'm telling her the story in between contractions. She's like, okay, hold on. Are you okay? She's like, I'm good. I'm like, seriously, you have to, don't let your son around this guy.
And this was the day of closing.
It had closed.
Hey, congrats, your home closed. By the way, you got a
Freaky
creeper.
man.
You got a creeper next
Let's
door.
change those locks.
I was like, yeah, it was very
You can't
scary.
make that stuff up.
You cannot. And that's the scariest I've ever been in a situation. And I can handle myself really well.
You spent a lot of time there too. Like I would have been booked out of there in a heartbeat.
Oh, well, it's my client's
Yeah, to
property. I'm trying to make sure that he's
Yeah, to get to
out.
drop off.
And I had gifts. I just
Not driving to Covington
sprawled
again.
on the floor. I didn't even hide them. I just threw them in and shut the door because I'm like, I don't know who else is in here. It was very scary.
Yeah, I think I would have sprinted out of that house.
I would've
and
been-
got
I
in my
would've
car
been
and drove off. I wouldn't have sat around for anything.
I definitely have opened up doors and like get a creep factor just because we're by ourselves a lot.
Yeah.
Which is, and if I'm going somewhere where, I know I'm going to be alone, I'll usually tell somebody or, give them the address, tell them, hey, I'm going to be here if you don't hear from me or if I don't call you in a half hour, come looking for me, please. But I've definitely walked into houses and I don't feel comfortable. I'm like, that's not worth it. I'm just going to
I'm out.
If I'm previewing.
Did you guys carry weapons with you?
Yes. Do you want to see her? She's in my purse.
Nope.
I don't.
Hey, we don't need to show this on here.
I do.
But we can say what it is. Tasers, bats. Have you guys ever had those?
Pepper spray.
Pepper spray?
That was have heels on.
380.
Yep.
Extra
That's
clip.
That's what I carry too. When I get a mortgage.
You should.
You
It
and
is
James
so
Bond.
dangerous. It is so dangerous.
My son's an agent and carries, so and continues to want me to carry, but I haven't done it.
I think if you're trained, it's smart. But people don't realize everything that you carry can be used against you.
Right.
So if you don't know how to perform and if you don't know how you perform under stress, then you just need to really take a good self-defense class or listen to that spidey sense, that vagal nerve. That's your biggest nerve in your body that's telling you fight, flight, or freeze. I need to get out of here. This isn't safe.
Yeah, we won't have open houses by ourselves anymore. I mean,
Nope.
it just is, and especially in multi-level homes, Yeah.
But you do get an interesting response when you're in Snohomish and you just open carry at an open house. People from the area are just like, right on, this is what I got. And we just started talking about weapons, and people that are moving up from Seattle are like, this isn't for me.
I can see that totally, yeah.
Just thinning the herd.
Yeah, do you guys take self-defense classes or do you guys do that stuff? It sounds like you do. Yeah.
I have not.
No.
I should.
I'm Canadian. I just was born badass.
You're Canadian?
But you apologize for it, right?
I do. I'm very sorry.
Beat somebody's ass and they go, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to kick your ass now.
So sorry, I'm going to kick my ass with my heels.
Yeah, exactly. I stage a lot at night. Like I do my best work after everybody leaves, and then it's like midnight, and that's when the old Laurelhurst homes start creaking.
Yeah.
Oh, and popping.
And then I'm like, I think I'm doing. I've never felt unsafe.
I'm going to finish this bottle of wine and leave.
Oh yeah, usually that's
Inspiration.
part of the staging.
It's all coming full circle here.
It all looked good last night.
I got a question. So we all see, I think you guys get good at reading between the lines when you read another agent's listing remarks, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are the funniest ones you've seen where it's like, it said, well, and the ones I can think of right off the top of my head is like needs TLC, which means that it's a teardown, right? So what are some of the ones that you guys have seen where you saw the description, you're like, wait, I don't, and then you look at the pictures or you go look at the property, you're like, oh, I see what they were doing there.
Charming means it's 100 years old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cozy means that it's
Cozy
small.
means it's small.
Small.
It's 800 feet square.
Ready?
Former
for your
owners
stamp?
had cats.
Oh.
Smells like urine.
Animal lover house.
Yeah, there was something to that effect, and we went in there and we opened the doors, and literally our eyes just started watering. It was a home path home. It was one of our, the one we sold in Edmonds to the HUD.
Oh.
Yeah, I showed them a place up in Lake Stevens, and it was Home Path. Home Path will do new carpet, paint, but they will carpet right over urine-soaked floors.
Oh.
They don't, but they leave the electricity on as opposed to HUD when all the critters are there. But yeah, cats had peed everywhere. We lasted about 15 seconds, and our eyes were watering. It was so bad, and the house was so hot. It was the summer, and we opened that door, and you're just like... You can go before me. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm just gonna catch my breath.
I think I was shocked the first time I walked into a HUD house. Yeah.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
bad.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the water turned off, antifreeze down the drains and pipes. And disgusting.
Septic
Just
systems blown.
disgusting. Yeah.
They don't fix
So-
anything. They turn off the water, electricity, everything done. They're pretty. They can be pretty brutal.
No, there haven't been a lot around really. Yeah, that's a.
It's the benefit of an up market.
Yeah.
Sure.
Unless you're
That would have
We're
multiple
grabbing
offers
them.
now.
Spank
Yes,
it.
exactly.
Yeah, multiple offers.
Everything
Yeah.
does.
It went from, feeling slow but steady, and then all of a sudden, over a weekend, it all went back
Just
to multiples.
January, it just kept going.
Right.
I mean, I did a market analysis beginning of the year, and I had to completely redo it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did the same.
Up the 100 fund on one. Yeah.
Interest rates are dropping.
Taking their time.
Not as fast as we'd all like. Hear that.
In fits and spurts.
Yeah.
It's not a straight line.
I just say they're dropping.
They drop like over a 6-month period, like a quarter, and then they'll go up a half a point in 2 days.
Yep.
And it's like, oh yes, it's dropping, and then the next day it's like, oh, actually they're higher. Bummer.
Yeah, it's true.
I wish I was in charge of it. Wish I had that crystal ball.
Wait,
do too.
you said you were in charge of it. Wasn't hired you.
Yeah.
What's going on?
You had one job.
Yes.
Low rates. 2.75, please.
Never.
But we're getting there.
But I think that when Theresa and I are very similar in this, and then when we're working with clients, I mean, one of the most important things that they do is to pick their lender. Where, what we were saying earlier as far as timing and all of that, but personalities have to match, and some clients need a little more coddling, and some need abrupt, and this is what you're going to do it, sign here, and don't, that's it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Lori.
Hence Duane.
Yeah. But I mean, Lori's fantastic in that, where it's like she just goes with the flow, goes with everyone, and can make it all happen.
But she also is direct. She also
Yeah.
is very numbers
Yes.
focused, and she can speak the language of something.
There's
that,
no BS.
Yeah.
But I can deliver it softly.
Yes. But she can also.
That's
I think that's how
talent.
you are too with
Yeah.
agent. I mean, with your clients, and that's why he got comfortable in his boxers. Well,
Jack of all trades here.
Yeah.
Is there a tagline for you there somewhere?
When the camera's off.
Nice. Good job.
Thanks for tuning in. If you have any great stories, funny stories, crazy stories, anything, please drop it in the comments below.